Well, I think what's very useful is the fact that this is not a professional killer, a contract killer, by his mannerisms and by the failure of the weapon. I think when you start looking at all the video footage and you see the malfunction of the weapon with the noise suppression unit causing a major malfunction, this is not the sign of a hired killer. I believe that the individual, by looking at the footage, is has some psychological issues. That this is a revenge shooting. If you look at the homicide investigation and the totality of the circumstances, you can see that they say he was laying in wait. I don't believe that, because in order to do that, you have to have prior information as to where the target is going to be and at what particular time. I think he was followed, and I have a feeling that the individual had a revenge issue with the healthcare industry or maybe a prior employee, but definitely some psych issues in this case. Correct. Sure. Well, normally contract killers as a whole know their weapon very well. This is the first time that that weapon was used with a noise suppression. The weapon, when that happens, the weapon needs to be modified. The ejection ports need to be modified. And the reason it's stovepiped so many times is because the weapon had never been fired with that particular suppression unit causing the jam. And a sophisticated killer would have put many rounds out of that weapon before using it. The type of clearing a jam is taught within the first hour of learning how to use a semi-automatic weapon. This individual is getting way too much credit. Well, the first thing too is a professional does not leave DNA behind. Um, Clearly, by the shell casings being left, you can tell that this is a revenge shooting. So the U.S. Marshal Service, who are the best at what they do, have some alleged DNA that they're going to be working with, maybe to identify the suspect. And once we identify the suspect, we'll be able to now put out the bolo, be on the lookout, show the picture of the defendant, excuse me, the suspect, and move forward in the investigation. Cell phone information, whether or not they can get into the cell phone, whether the cell phone company is going to be willing to cooperate on this matter. This is all things that we have to see. Well, the fact that we don't know, a lot of times when we're dealing with fugitive cases, we know who the fugitives are, prison break, situations like that. As of right now, we haven't ID'd the suspect yet. So building the information is the first part. Disseminating the information to the general public will be the second part. And then looking at, cell phone records or any other information will be vital in the apprehension of this fugitive. Correct. Well, sometimes there may be, internet trails. Sometimes there's phone records. It all depends. Each case, you have to look at the totality and go in that direction, so you're not chasing a red herring. You can easily be taken in the wrong direction, and you need to stay focused. I'm sure that the Marshal Service is not letting out information that they already have. I think this one's going to take a little bit longer than normal, just because we don't know who the actual shooter is. My question would be, well, I was just wondering why a CEO of a major company would be walking down the street alone without a protection team. It seems very odd to me.